I think that it's very in line with the books that this movie and a lot of the previous, I guess all of them, have ended on a cliffhanger.
Pain. Lately, I've become very well acquainted with it. The type that comes when you've been hurt repeatedly by the same person.
I love the cliffhangers. I love that they've become like a kind of, an essential, iconic aspect of the franchise, because everyone, I love how annoyed everyone gets when they don't get to figure out what happens. It's lovely. It's lovely to watch. But no, I'm especially excited for people to see this cliffhanger at the end of number 3.
Enough! Stop!
We are all fools in love.
The fact that they're both having daddy issues kind of at the same time, and they've both had relatively similar childhoods in relation to their father, you would think it would bring them together and it would be something that they could bond over. But I think it drives them apart because Tess is just dealing with so much and now feeling like she has to be an emotional support to her partner who's also dealing with so much. I think it's just a little too much for her to handle.
I like to think, especially when applying it to Harden and Tessa for a lot of their arguments, I like to think of it as not them tallying up arguments, but there's almost like a set number of arguments they can have, and every time they have one, it's kind of ticked off, and that's one argument that they've kind of completed, essentially. But when too many of them happen at the same time, that's when it's kind of a problem. So if they can kind of, get through each one, I do definitely think that, they can help each other and it does improve them. The accumulation of arguments isn't necessarily a bad thing, but kind of, they're clearing the air and working through those issues to eventually, hopefully, one day be free of the argumentative tendencies.
I think there's a lot of problems that are kind of, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's all being bottled up and it's becoming a little bit too much for her to handle. So I think in the next film, we get to see the consequences of that, and everything that they're going through kind of reaches a climax in the next film, which is partly why it's my favorite, because we get to really have, I feel like, what the climax of their relationship is.
It's the kind of accumulation and leading up to kind of the amount of arguments that they're having and where they're trying to get to is I guess what we enjoy seeing so much, and the reason we keep coming back.
I think a happy ending would be great because of everything that they've been through. They deserve a happy ending.
Yeah, we have to admit we all want a happy ending, don't we? But part of me would love to play with the idea of everything just going terribly. Would be interesting to see as well. I feel like I'm so sadistic and just wanted to see the fans react to the most wild stuff. But I think that's kind of what it's about, is that keeping everyone on their toes, hence the cliffhangers and all the crazy dramatic arguments and a lot happening all at once. And as much as we would love a happy ending, I don't want anyone to get too comfortable.